so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting. Especially since they're helping to fund all the cool projects we have in the works, such as the Positive Head app, the docuseries that I'm intending to begin shooting within the next year, and whatever else we dream up over here at Positive Headquarters to help spread consciousness across the planet. Now, if you're short on time or just super excited for today's topic and want to dive right in and skip these ads, feel free to fast forward about
2.5 minutes
to get right into today's show. That being said, I strongly encourage you to listen because the reason I'm passionate about my sponsors is because they've made a huge impact in my own life, which is why I've aligned with these organizations. And I firmly believe they can do the same for you too. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positive head. That's spelled GAIA.com/positive head. The second sponsor I'm extremely passionate about promoting is Purium. The reason I've aligned Positive Head with Purium is because I wholeheartedly stand behind their mission to end human suffering by making superfoods easily available to everyone with the ultimate goal to help restore mankind's harmony with nature in the process. I mean, what a noble mission, right? It's no mystery that you need to bring your mind, body, and spirit into balance if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. And for me, for years, I honestly felt like I was ahead of the curve in the mind and spirit category, but I was only average at best in the level of care I administered to my body. Sure, I was healthy-ish when it came to the food I put into my system, but after doing a Purium 40-day transformation with a 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse, I can honestly say I have reestablished my relationship with food in a very positive way. Not only did I drop the extra weight that I was carrying as a natural byproduct of the transformation so that I'm now at my ideal body weight, but I continue to feel like my best self by starting every day with an organic Purium power shake that is made from raw superfood ingredients that were meticulously harvested, thoughtfully combined to optimize the nutritional impact it has on my body. I view the shake as plant medicine, really, and it happens to taste really delicious, and I can make it in about 30 seconds. There's actually 4 core Purium products that I take every day, and honestly, I intend to do so for the rest of my life for a very scientifically sound reason. And if you want to learn more about those reasons, you can go check out my video at positivehead.com/transformation, where I go into more detail. If you end up buying any of the Purium products, be sure and use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. It is a magical Monday here in the studio. Here we grow again. We are doing it. You are doing it. And couldn't be more pleased about it. I hope you're pleased too. I'm pleased you're here. I'm pleased I get to share and connect with so many lovely souls. It is truly an honor and pleasure to continue this labor of love along with all of you, and as you all co-create it as well. More and more I feel, and for example, today, dear friend Jeff, who's a P-head, I was talking to him over the weekend and kind of sending audio back and forth via Facebook, and I ended up taking what was talked about as inspiration for what I will talk about today. So as Jeff sort of talked through with me some of the struggles and issues he's bumping up against, it's now translating into inspiration for the show. And as a result, as I talk about it, there's certainly going to be many of you out there who can relate to what Jeff has been experiencing, and as a result, benefit. So, I'll just start with that. For you, Jeff, especially, your difficulties, your pain, in some sense, from some perspective, is actually going to lead to benefit for others, right? So is it bad, the things you're going through? I don't know. We'll dig into that. But before we do, I want to take a minute and read a review on iTunes. You guys know I love my iTunes reviews. Not only do they help us to reach new people, but they certainly help to continue to fuel my fire to continue this labor of love. And so if you haven't reviewed on iTunes, I would love you very much if you do. I'll love you very much if you don't, but I definitely like to hear from you guys. And this one came in by Sarah Lavantour. Serendipitous Awakening. Adore this podcast, especially the Wednesday interviews. I've been on a spiritual path for many years, but was recently in a fog of self-doubt and trauma. A dear friend sent me a link for the Stuart Pierce episode a couple days ago. Listening to that magical auditory unfolding literally uplifted me out of the fog. I had whole body chills the entire time I was listening. I'm very attuned to sound. Singing and channeling high vibrational music writing is my passion in this lifetime, so Stuart's perception of sound healing resonates with me exponentially. Since that episode, I've been listening to Positive Head multiple times a day, catching up on all the past excitables. So appreciative of this podcast and Brandon for doing this important work at this time. Limitless love and blessed light to him and all who listen. P.S. Speaking of synchronicity, as I neared the end of the last episode I was listening to and went to my phone to leave a review, the lock screen showed 11:11. Wish I could attach a screenshot to this review, LOL. Oh, Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to review. I really enjoyed Stuart as well. And as someone who feels such a strong connection to words and sound, and music is obviously a passion. I share it every day on the show. And Stuart is incredible. And for those of you who haven't heard that interview, I would recommend going back and listening to that. That powwow was incredible. The story, the magical synchronistic story he shared was awesome. Really, really cool. Gave me chills. And, I hear a lot of cool stories. So, definitely recommend going back and searching you spell his last name Pearce, but for those who want to find it. Yeah. All right. So let's move right along and jump into the topic today. Oh, before I do, I just want to throw out real quick, there is a new Facebook group, the Positive Plant Posse, for those of you who are participating in Purium, transformation or cleanse, metabolic reset, or interested in learning more about it. You definitely can go jump in there. I wanted to break off from the regular Positive Heads group. Not that it will never come up there, but I wanted something that could be all things Purium for those, who want to go dive in deep and talk about, all that stuff that quite a few of us, over 100, almost 150 people have participated in now. So definitely recommend checking that out if you feel so called to do. Also, the Positive Heads Facebook group is the primary group. If you're not in there, we definitely want to see your bright, shiny face, connect with other listeners. It's a private group, so you can actually open up about private things if you'd like. And the support and souls that we have there are just really, truly such beautiful, magical reflections. So they say you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Well, I say surround yourself with these 6,000 or so people, and you will be doing very well if you are the composite of all that magic. So definitely recommend that. All right, so let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about my dialogue with my dear friend Jeff this weekend. And Jeff is such a pure, funny, just cool, amazing soul who, like many, has his own gremlins to face, if you will. I like the word gremlins better than demons. I'm sticking with it. Love your gremlins. That's what this episode's about. And accepting the blockages. That's what we talked about, and the fear that comes from those blockages. A lot of us, we are all, if you're tuning into this podcast, it's because you want to improve yourself, right? You want to continue to grow. You want to become the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. You're a doer, right? Like I'm definitely a doer. And so that can be a challenging thing to balance against some of the blockages that arise that we can't quite find our way through, right? You're not where you want to be. And so you're fantasizing about getting somewhere else. There's some resistance to what is. No matter how hard you try, you're still finding that there's resistance there. And you're like, let's go. And you're still, stuck at the red light. And that is challenging for those of us who want to move on. And one of the things that popped up from another amazing, beautiful P-head, Eve Marie earlier, she posted in the Facebook group, this anger. Anger is a river. It wants to be released into the vaster ocean. It wants to move naturally. When we repress it with premature forgiveness, block it with false positivity, repress it in the name of pseudo peace, we just dam, and it has DAM and then N in parentheses, we just dam our natural flow. And that's a quote by Jeff Brown. And I think that's really very timely. She just posted that an hour ago. And I was talking to Jeff what do you know? It's another Jeff. There you go, Jeff. How you like that for synchronicity? Jeff Brown is talking to Jeff vicariously through this post that just popped up on my feed right before I recorded. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I love it so much. I love to see those things like unfold in real time on the show. Like I'm connecting the dots. I'm like, hold on, this is about Jeff. Hold on, this post that just came up that seems relevant. Oh, that's from a Jeff too. An extension, another Jeff. Yeah. It's all reflections of so many threads of connectivity. So, Jeff, I would say pay attention to what the other Jeff had to say. And that is understanding that this is a natural part of you that wants to move and be released, not repressing it, not trying to get out of it. You feel blocked. In any way, accepting that. And the irony is they're like, by accepting that you feel blocked, you let things flow again because you're not resisting what is in any way. And this gets, kind of nuanced, right? And it's kind of sometimes can almost be confusing. This idea, hold on, by accepting that I'm not being productive, that actually causes things to flow again. By allowing myself to just be hurt or angry, not trying to like repress it down and like, through gritted teeth, I'm doing fine, I'm great. Yeah. And when you can barely contain the agitation, like, no, that's not the path. Just accepting that these are all going to be parts of it. I definitely had a sort of a trying, energetic week last week with my company moving offices and literally hitting wall after wall after wall. And I finally, I'd had moments of agitation, maybe a 3 out of 10 compared to what I would have done in the past. But, you finally got to the point where it's so obvious that I'm just being tested, I'm being tried, my axe is being sharpened. These things are happening for me. It went from agitation finally to just is like comedy. Like the amount of hiccups with wiring not working out, and this goes wrong and that goes wrong, and internet providers don't show multiple times, and just crazy things. It was just like ongoing. And so allowing it to be and just like relaxing into it. And this is huge for all of us. You know, if you're confused, in Jeff's case, when he was writing me, he's like, you know, I'm just confused on which way to go. I don't know what exactly to do. I know I want more and I feel stuck, and I'm, you know, confusion. I believe it's Tony Robbins said, confusion means you're on the verge of a breakthrough. So if you're confused, that's great news. If you're not being productive, accept that. If you're feeling angry, accept that. Allow it to be. Let it flow through you. You want to become like water, right? That is the path. All the resistance and so forth that we go through is really the root of the problem. If you find yourself tense about any of this stuff, where you're at, use it as your cue to surrender. Sacrifice yourself. Think of yourself. Let it all go. Quit caring so much in a good way. You know, as Jeff was talking to me, he cares, man. This is like a good guy who has a lot of great intentions and an incredible heart. He cares. He wants to get somewhere. He wants to clear up the things that are holding him back. He's a doer. He's like, you know, and what I'm saying is, it almost seems counterintuitive. Let it go. Stop caring. Your life, you know, if you can start seeing it from the perspective of your life doesn't matter in the best kind of way. It's like you are an eternal being. This is one of infinite incarnations that you have. I mean, it just on and on and on. It's a blip. It's less than a blip in eternity. And that's a good thing. It means you can bring levity to it all. You can bring levity. A lot of the blockage comes from, man, I really want to do better. I really want to get through it and I can't and I don't know why. And gosh, I'm so frustrated, and quit caring. You know, I look at someone like my dad, for example. He's very laid back. I'm more like my mom, who is not very laid back. But he's this very laid back character, and he just doesn't care in the best kind of way. A lot of times he's never had a health issue. There's just like no stress. And it's just like, it's a really good thing to learn from someone like that. Just relax about it all. You don't have to take your life seriously. You know, someone like Jeff is very comedic and funny. Use that. Continue to resonate with that. That is the best medicine. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at whatever's going on. Make a joke of the situation in general. Love these blockages. Love your gremlins. Accept them exactly where they are. You know, as we talked a little bit about this in our dialogue over the weekend, it was like, yeah, but, you know, he'd come back to me, responded, yeah, I hear that, but I care so much, and and it's on, and it's like continuing to hold on. It's like the path is always going to be to surrender and let go. And then you'll find yourself, you caught in the net, right? Jump from the cliff and the net will appear. Jump from the ledge and the net will appear. Just let go. Free fall with your life a little bit. You know, allow the things that are bubbling up to bubble up. You're going through a process. You are moving, you know, you're constantly moving. There are emotions and energies that want to flow through you, and you're going to have moments where things come through you that just, you know, are want to be expressed. They want to be released back into the ocean, like that quote said. You know, they want to be released back into the ocean so that they can be reabsorbed and processed. And just by becoming a vessel for it all to be and flow through you. And if you can bring some levity to your perspective on how and why this all works, then you get into, you're going to see the natural ebbs and flows of it all, right? Like if Jeff hadn't went through this, I wouldn't be talking about this exact perspective today. And if I wasn't talking about this exact perspective today, it wouldn't resonate with the people out there that it's going to resonate with and help them. So you're always judging, you know, it's the maybe so story, right? We're always judging. It always comes down to this judging. And I don't know if you guys remember the maybe so story. Actually, someone wrote me a question this weekend, and I was looking because I know I've talked about it at some point in the past, probably several years ago, and I couldn't find it by searching, you know, keywords in the podcast archive. So this actually seems like the perfect time to revisit the Taoist farmer, or the maybe so story, as I call it. And this is one of my favorite stories. And so, of course, Taoism being very closely aligned with a lot of the beliefs we talk about on the show. It's all in divine order. It's all an extension of the one, et cetera, et cetera. Lao Tzu, who you hear me quote quite often, wrote the Tao Te Ching. And anyway, that's what this particular farmer was of Taoist philosophy, right? So he had a perspective that was similar to what we're talking about here, just allowing what is to be without any attachment or judgment, because he realized he really doesn't know what's for the best. And he doesn't understand the divine timing of his higher self necessarily. He's just here to trust and flow like water. So the Taoist farmer has one horse, a really key part of his farming team, if you will. The one horse who helps to plow the fields and, healthy, happy, amazing horse, huge contributor. One day, the horse runs off. Well, the neighbors who, see things from a very zoomed in perspective, they're not seeing the broader perspective, you could say, maybe not, except, implementing this Taoist philosophy and perspective on life, come over to their neighbor and say, oh my gosh, we saw that your one horse ran away. And that is a key for your success as you farm your fields, as you till your fields. You're screwed, buddy. What are you going to do? You're screwed. Well, the Taoist farmer, understanding that, it's always happening for him, whatever that is, trusting, relaxing, surrendering, says, maybe so. Maybe so, maybe not. Who knows? Well, then the next day, the horse reappears. And this time, the horse is not alone. It has come back with several other wild horses. So here, the farmer who, from, the perspective of the neighbors yesterday, was screwed. This my one horse is gone. What are you going to do? Now he has triple, quadruple the horsepower with all these other horses. And the neighbors observe this, come back over, say, oh my gosh, we thought you were completely screwed yesterday. Now we realize, wow, what a lucky break. You actually have way more horsepower. Taoist farmer understanding this perspective of, I don't know. What does he say? Maybe so. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. We'll see. And so then his son, his one human helper, very key to his success as a farmer, decides he's going to try and tame the wild horses, tries to ride one of the wild horses. It throws him. He falls, breaks a leg, and the neighbors observe this. They come over, say, oh my gosh, we thought you were completely screwed when the horse ran away. Then we thought you were so blessed when the horse came back. Now we realize you're super screwed without your son to help you with your farming. Taoist farmer says, you guessed it, maybe so. Who knows? We'll see. Next day, the military comes around to gather up young men in the age range of the farmer's son. They come to gather him up to take him off to war, where he will be on the front line, sure to die. They find him laid up in bed with a broken leg and pass him by because he can't walk. And as a result, he's not going to die in war now. The neighbors come over, say, oh my gosh, at first we thought you were screwed. Then we thought you were so blessed. And then we knew you were screwed. Now we realize you're super blessed that your son doesn't have to go off to war. What does a Taoist farmer say? Maybe so. And so when you get this, when you can really implement this, is it in the best interest of Jeff to be further along like he wants right now, to work through whatever's holding him back from more abundance, more success, more better relationships, a more fulfilled version of himself, right? Is that in his best interest? Maybe so. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not time yet. Maybe that unfolding will be that much richer if you wait. Right? If you wade through the blockages, you stay in with your gremlins. You sit down and have tea with your gremlins, and you accept the anger. You accept any of these things and learn to trust the divine timing. I think that's where it's at. And I think what happens is you'll find you move through stages. Someone else Jesse posted in the Facebook group. The next thing you know, things change, right? you can compare what she posted, and I loved it, so I'm going to share it right now because you can compare it to the stages that we're all going through. Jeff is going through a stage. He's at a stage where there's some blockages. That's okay. But one thing's for certain, change is guaranteed, right? That's the only thing that's guaranteed. You're an eternal being that's always been and always will be. Change is guaranteed. So if you don't like something, don't worry. It's going to change. Something else may come along that you don't prefer, but guess what? That'll change too. Something may come along that is beautiful, incredible. That'll change too, which makes it precious. So definitely bring your attention to that now moment and appreciate it for all that it is, and don't take it for granted, right? Jessie talked about in the Positive Heads Facebook group. She said, the stages of me joining this group. Phase 1. Ooh, this is kind of strange. I'm just going to lurk. Phase 2. What the hell are they talking about? Phase 3. Wow, that grass looks a lot more vibrant than I realized. And that building I usually whiz by is so lovely. And the oak tree is so infinite. Wow, my car is so fascinating. Phase 4. Ooh, I can feel it. I feel hope. There's so much love all around. Current phase. What if I was a light beam in my last life? I hope I was a light beam. And then she goes on to say, thank you, Brandon and Brandon Beecham and all of you. This group has helped me see so much and so much more positively. Oh, I loved this so much. It was so powerful and beautiful. The phases, right? The phases of your life. We're just going through phases. And guess what? There's infinite phases ahead of you. Like, no matter where you get, where you progress to, any of you, Jeff, you progress and you become that vision of what your greatest and grandest self, guess what? There will be another rocket of desire, as Abraham, who I often share, Esther Hicks on the show, talks about. There will be a brand new rocket of desire from that plateau that you want. And you're going to hit new challenges from that plateau. And you're going to hit new, you're going to grow beyond that and break through. And this sun is going to come out and the clouds are going to clear. And then the clouds are going to come back and repeat ad infinitum. This is going to continue as you continue to do the same thing from different vantage points and perspectives eternally. So, trusting that process and relaxing into it, because you're never going to really get anywhere. There's nowhere to go. You're in the eternal now. And so relax into that. There's nowhere to go, and so much to see here. And your job is to be present with it all and to surrender over and over again, Well, I love you all. This has been a pleasure. It truly is a pleasure to get to do this, to get to share in this way. I hope this helps. Hope this helps you, Jeff. Love you, man. Love all of you who are feeling the same things, going through the same things. Till next time, I do have a song to leave you with. The track is New Time Nomads, is the name of the track by I Awake. And actually, this is on Merkaba Music, which is Eve's. I'm not sure if it's her or just her partner, Yegan, if it's his label, but I Awake is on Merkaba Music. So yeah, ties in too. New Time Nomads, hope you love it as much as I do. Until next time, journey well. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.